Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Now, I'm going to explain this really fast because you're looking probably at the title and saying Sweetness of Lightning, but you're not seeing any images related to it. That is because what I'm going to be doing for this review is I'm not going to use any images or, of course, audio. Like, I never use audio in my reviews anyways. But I want to talk about Sweetness of Lightning because I really dig this show. And one thing about it, which kind of was unfortunate, was I was doing episodic reviews of it up until I believe it was episode 3 where I then kind of ran into a copyright claim on one of the videos. I think it wasn't a strike, mind you. It was just a copyright claim, but it made it where I couldn't review it anymore because I was in fear of getting a copyright strike on it. So what I'm going to do with this review is I'm going to talk about the show, but you're not going to see any images related to it. I mean, unfortunately, that seems kind of weird, but I believe you can just go online. You know, if you want to see what it looks like, of course, you can look it up. But it's on Crunchyroll. It's on various other websites, so it's not too hard to find. And I'll just go talk about it, what I thought about it, the show in general, and just kind of review it. So hopefully you guys don't mind this style. I mean, if this works, this will be how I review stuff that gives me a chance of getting a copyright strike. So I'll do stuff like Ajin. I'll review it that way. So this way, you know, if I do get a claim against me, I can right away dispute it. Go, hey, you know, I'm not even using a single image for the review up on it, so you can't really fault me for it. So, you know what I mean? It's just, I guess it gives me a good defense against the kind of copyright bots that seem to hit everyone all the time. Anyways, Sweetness of Lightning is a show that off the concept of it, it seems like it might be a very dramatic show. It talks about a main character being a father, a single parent though, where his wife had recently died and he's taking care of his daughter now. And, you know, one thing he wants to do for this girl is he wants to take care of her in the sense of, you know, making sure she's happy, of course, and raise her right. And so what he's doing the whole show is he's trying to make sure that he makes her good food, because that's one thing that the wife used to do and he really never used to do, is that he makes her good food. Now the main character's name is Kohei Inazaka, and what's really cool about this is his daughter's name is Sumugi Inazaka, of course. And these two are going to be the prominent main characters of the show. I mean, there's going to be also Katori, who Katori will be the girl that kind of gets involved when he decides one day that he finally wants to make sure that his daughter has good food, you know, like actual food that's satisfying, not just cheap frozen stuff or microwavable food. And when they end up running into this girl, it's actually one of his students, and she lets them use the kitchen in her place and notices that he does something, of course, that she really can't do. He can cook using a knife, which she cannot do. She's afraid to use knives. And over the course of 12 episodes, what we're going to see their relationship bond. You're going to meet other characters that are along the way, like Kojika. You're going to have Yagi, who is one of Koei's friends, which is this tall guy with blonde hair. And you're going to meet, of course, the one girl's friend. I think I named her already. But what's interesting about this is that Inazaka, as a main character, is not anything supernatural. He's not, you know, super cool or anything. He's just an average an average father who's trying to take care of his daughter and to the best of his ability, because he works as a teacher, so he has a lot on his plate. You know, he has, of course, his own students, his daughter, you know, who's now going to kindergarten and stuff like that. It seems like there's a lot against him, and what I love about the show, though, is that it's something that we don't typically see in anime. We usually see single parents, like the mother's side perspective, but we really rarely see a father's side perspective, and that's very interesting to get that perspective in a show. I really dig the show in general. I mean, animation-wise, it's very stellar. I love the colors and the cuteness of the characters. I mean, I think that one of the best things and one of the most things, if you look up right away online, of the images, of course, which I want to show you guys. If you want to see them, go look at my first couple of reviews of them. I have some images on those because those were not copyright claimed. But for this, of course, like I said, I'm not going to use any images. But one thing I digged about it is I love the animation. I just love how cutesy everything looks, and just it's very colorful and really looks vibrant, which is really nice. Sound-wise, I love the voice acting of this. Sumugi is played by a young girl, actually. She's played by a 10-year-old, and her character is supposed to embody, I think, a 7 or 8-year-old, maybe even younger than that. So it's really cool to see that, because it's very rare you see that. So she fits her character to the T. So she steals the show in terms of how her voice is with her character. I mean, it fits just how you would expect a young girl to act. You know, one thing that the show does, the story-wise is, of course, like I said, you know, the father trying to take care of his daughter and try to feed her correct meals. You know, it boils down to probably the only issue with the whole show is it's a very formulaic a system where you have every episode being the same, essentially. You know, every episode follows a little bit of life lessons, a little bit of a life story with these characters, then them going to cook a new menu for them, and then the next episode. Is that an issue? I really didn't have an issue with that, which is I'm surprised because usually stuff like that, formulaic stuff in general, can be something that whittles down at someone's like of a show. In this case, for me, I enjoyed it. I really did. I thought this was a great show all the way through. Um, I will say, like I said, probably also one of the weaker things is episode 12, which is similarly had really kind of a no ending concept, so it just ends with another episode. And, I have some issues with that. So, I mean, honestly, it did take away from the score quite a bit. I was going to go a really high A for this, but I might go lower for that. I'm not going to say it yet because, of course, I'm not done with the review. But overall, though, Sweetness and Lightning is something that should be actually enjoyed because I believe it's something different. Yeah, okay, formulaic episodes and stuff like that are the weakest parts of it, but we don't see this too often. We don't see a father's perspective of how to raise a child by themselves and the kind of trials and tribulations they have to deal with raising that kid and doing that stuff. It's very interesting. I know people are kind of turned off by the fact that the student that he's always with, the girl, and him are always together, and that's a student and a teacher together. Some people might go, oh, that's kind of weird and off-putting. It's not. It always takes a cutesy role to it where you never get kind of creeped out by it. It's always nice and cute. There's nothing creepy or odd about it. And I think that's one of the strongest points of the show. Overall, if I did have to rate this show A through F, I have to give it a solid B+. The show could have gotten an A-, and I was originally leaning toward an A-, but the thing is that every episode, including the last episode, ends with this formulaic approach, and that kind of makes it where, I guess you have to watch or read the manga, to get any further stuff out of it, because I don't believe they're making a second season right now. It's not been confirmed or anything like that. So if it does have a second season, I believe that this would kind of increase the score of this one to an A-, but as it is, B+ is still a great score. I mean, it's way better than Taboo Tattoo, which I highly recommend you go check that review out. It's one of my best rants, I think, on this channel, honestly. Anyways, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you forgive me for having just a singular image, but I believe that this is a good way to avoid any copyright strikes or claims or anything like that. As always, guys and girls, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button, subscribe, share the video, the whole nine. Until our paths cross again in the next review, have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.